I thought attenuation of the rectangular waveguide. So same thing can equal about the power losses in the rectangular waveguide. So the rectangular waveguide, already I told, rectangular waveguide acts as a high pass filter. If the operating frequency is more than the operating frequency, operating frequency is more than the cutoff frequency of the waveguide, then only so the wave is traveling into the waveguide. So based on this concept, we have the two cases. So there is for the reflective attenuation and dissipative attenuation. So reflective attenuation, F is less than Fc. So here the wave not all entering into the waveguide. So here the attenuation is very high. So dissipative attenuation. So here F is greater than Fc. So see here F is greater than Fc. So here the wave is entering into the waveguide. So based on the material which are using for our to construct our waveguide. So I have two cases. So dielectric losses and conductor losses. Dielectric losses and conductor losses. So here the reflective attenuation F is less than Fc. So here we have the alpha is equal to this one. So already we explained last class. Coming to this dissipative attenuation, we have the two things. Please remember this. So F is greater than Fc. So dielectric loss and conductor loss. This is the dielectric loss. So sigma alpha D is equal to this one. And conductor loss depends upon the mode. So TM mode and TE mode. So this is the conductor loss. I think one more thing, it is mode jumping in the waveguide. So mode jumping means, so in any waveguide, so there is a cutoff frequency. So we have select a signal. So just greater than the cutoff frequency of our waveguide. So in that case, so based on the structure of the waveguide, so there may be a variation in the cutoff frequency. That means, suppose the frequency is 1 gigahertz, it may vary. So some other, so suppose 1.011. Okay, suppose operating frequency is 1.01. In that case, it will not allow because of, so here the cutoff frequency 1 gigahertz that is expected from the waveguide. So because if it is 1 gigahertz, operating frequency 1.01, now it will allow into the waveguide. Suppose due to the manufacturing or due to the dimensions of the, so suppose the cutoff frequency is vary to 1 to 1.011. Suppose if our cutoff frequency, operating frequency 1.01, it will not allow. That means it will go for the next one. That is the mode jumping. So in the waveguides, right? So then, so another important thing, go for the next one. So that is, so cavity resonators. So already I think is there in your assignment also. So cavity resonator. So it's a metallic enclosure that confines the electromagnetic energy. It will store the electromagnetic energy. So it will store the electric and magnetic energy. It's a cavity resonator. So it is a metallic structure that confines the electromagnetic energy. It stores the electromagnetic energy. So here, so we have the different types of cavity resonators. We have the rectangular cavity resonator, circular cavity resonator, and reentrant cavity resonator. So we're using in the microwave applications. So these resonators we are using in our Klystron tubes also. So here, so we have the, see, these are the different shapes of the our cavity resonators. So we have the reentrant cavity, so coaxial cavity, radial cavity, tunable cavity. So this is a toroidal cavity and butterfly cavity. So now this is the can take the rectangular waveguide. See, so in our waveguide, so we are saying there is a, suppose we have the width, height and length. I am considering as a infinite. That is the case we are using in the waveguides, in rectangular waveguide. So we have the width. So you see here there is a width is A, height is B. So but in the waveguide the length is infinite. Length is infinite. But in the case of reentrant cavities, this is the cavity resonators. The resonators, so here the length also fixed. So D, that is not there in our, please remember, in rectangular cavities. So we have the width A, height is B. Already we know these things. So here the length in Z direction, it is infinite. So we are not confining the length. So but in case of reentrant cavity, reentrant cavity resonators, in cavity resonators, so the length also fixed. So width is A, height is B, and the length is D. See this structure. So this is the cavity resonator. So now here is all dimensions are confined here. So now we have the 3 dimensions here. So now we can derive the expression for the cutoff frequency for this reentrant. This is microstrip like this cavity resonator. So we need to calculate. That is very important equation. So derive expression for the cutoff frequency for the cavity resonator. Okay, so there you have the cutoff frequency. You have the 2 dimensions, only A and B. So the number of off waves in the A is M. The number of off wave fields in the B is N. So there we can see in our rectangular waveguide. So but here one more dimension also we have to include here. That is the length is D. Length is D. Here we can save the number of off wave points we can take as the P. So M, A in the A side M. Here M, here is P. So these fields are not that important. So here only thing is, so you need to derive the expression for the resonant frequency. So derivation for the expression for the resonant frequency. So this equation already we know H square, the H square is equal to, so gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon. This already we know. So from the wave equations of our rectangular waveguide, so H square is equal to gamma square plus omega square epsilon mu. Okay, that is equal to A square plus B square. That is equal to, so H square you can take it as A square plus B square. That is equal to, so M pi by A whole square plus N pi by B whole square. So this is from our rectangular waveguide. So listen carefully. This is from our rectangular waveguide. H square is equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon. That is nothing but A square plus B square. So already we know A is equal to M pi by A and B is equal to N pi by B. So now see here. So this gamma square is equal to, what is the gamma square? Alpha square plus J beta. Gamma is equal to alpha plus J beta. So gamma is the propagation constant. So that is equal to alpha plus J beta. So where alpha is the attenuation coefficient and beta is the propagation coefficient. So already we know. So if the wave entering into the waveguide, the attenuation is 0. Alpha is equal to 0. Now the gamma is equal to J beta. Gamma is equal to J beta. Are you following? 441?
Yes, sir.
Alpha. So this gamma is equal to alpha plus J beta. Please write gamma is equal to alpha plus J beta. So for wave propagation, so we are considering, so that alpha is the attenuation. Alpha is attenuation. Attenuation is 0. Attenuation is 0. Then gamma is equal to J beta. Gamma is equal to J beta. So you can write here. So this gamma is equal to, so gamma is equal to alpha plus J beta. Alpha plus J beta. Alpha plus J beta. So this is 0. This is, so 0. This is the attenuation coefficient. This is 0. So if the wave propagate in the wave, our cavity resonator. So now gamma is equal to, this gamma is equal to J beta. Gamma is equal to J beta. Now gamma square is equal to, so J square beta square. So J square is equal to -1 beta square. So gamma square is equal to minus beta square. So gamma square is equal to minus beta square. Now substitute this in this above equation. So here, so omega square epsilon mu is equal to M pi by A whole square plus N pi by B whole square plus, so here, so this is gamma square. So in place of gamma square, this is the plus beta square. So here minus beta square. So we are taking into the right side. This is the plus beta square. So now the condition of the resonant frequency. So you can take, so W is equal to, so WR, resonant frequency. So see, there is a cutoff frequency. Here you can use the resonant frequency. It is a, so metallic enclosure, just like resonant cavity. Is a resonant cavity. So here, so the metal is, so resonant frequency. See here, omega is equal to omega R. So now, so that is equal to, you can write like this one. So A is equal to M pi by A. So B is equal to N pi by B. In the same manner, So beta is equal to P pi by D. So beta is equal to P pi by D. So now you can substitute in this above equation. So here omega is equal to omega r square. So mu epsilon is equal to m pi by a whole square plus n pi by b whole square plus beta is nothing but pi pi by d. So pi pi by d whole square. Right? So now, so from this, so omega r square is equal to this one. So omega r square is equal to, you can write 2 pi r square. So 2 pi means, so now you can write like this. So now 1 by 2 pi root mu into epsilon. So root of m pi by a whole square plus n pi by b whole square plus pi pi by d whole square. Now this is equal to fr is equal to, so c by 2 root. So we can take common this. Then so pi you can take common, so pi get cancelled, c by 2, this is 1 by root epsilon is equal to c by 2 root m pi by a whole square plus n pi by b whole square plus p by d whole square. So this is the resonant frequency. This is the resonant frequency. It's very, very important. So here, I think already you have these notes. You please take from the so your notes. So here you can write. So people already they written in our this one assignment. So this is very important, right? Okay. So see, there is a cutoff frequency. It is a resonant frequency. It is a so cavity resonator. It will store the electric and magnetic field energies. It will store the energy. So here, so it's a metallic enclosure. It means the width, length, and height all are confined. All are fixed for this. Okay. So this you can use in our klystron tubes where you are going to generate our microwave signal. So in that case, we are using this. So this one. So you have the resonant frequency, just like oscillators like that. So you have the resonant frequency for this. The resonant frequency is this one. So here the important one is, so they will ask, so what is meant by resonant cavity? What is meant by resonant cavity? So what are different types of resonant cavities? Different types of resonant cavity. So then they may ask, derive expression for the resonant frequency for the cavity resonator, resonant frequency for the cavity resonator, that we are going to derive from our basic equation h square is equal to gamma square plus omega square epsilon mu. Based on this equation, so we can take our resonant frequency fr is equal to c by 2 root m pi by a whole square plus n pi by a whole square plus p pi by d whole square. So I think you know. So m is the number of half-wave points in the width side. This is the n is the height side. This is the length side. Okay. So maybe simple problem they may ask to find the three lowest frequencies, resonant frequencies for a air-filled rectangular waveguide cavity resonator operating in the TE mode with the dimension as A is equal to 4 centimeters, B is equal to 3 centimeters, and D is equal to 4 centimeters. So now here, so we can take this one. This is 3 pi by 3m 4n by 2. We can substitute in this equation. So here the different things. So here resonant frequency, we can the TE MNP. TE MNP. So TE MNP. So M is equal to 1, N is equal to 0, so P is equal to 1. So then quality factor, if any resonant circuit, there is a quality factor. This is our resonant cavity. So there has a quality factor. That quality factor behaves as the damping oscillations. So now the quality factor depending upon the resonant frequency and the bandwidth. So now we can see the quality factor. So Q is defined as the maximum energy stored per cycle by energy dissipated per the cycle. So this you can remember this. So quality factor is defined as Q is equal to 2 pi into maximum energy stored per cycle by energy dissipated per cycle. Just need to remember that. So remaining thing not that much required here. Okay. So circular cavities is not there in our syllabus. Here only have the resonant cavity. So resonant cavity is a confined, length is confined. So it is so it stores the energy, the electromagnetic energy, the electric field or magnetic field energy. So these are using in the our Klystron tubes. So to generate the microwaves. Okay. So there you have the resonant frequency. So the derivation you have to remember. So then, so we can go for the that one. That's enough for the resonant cavities. So then microstrip line. So another already we told we have the three different types of transmission lines for our so micro engineering. So we have the coaxial cable on transmission line, then waveguides, have the rectangular waveguide and circular waveguide, and another one is the microstrip lines. So I already told at the beginning of our unit 1, we have the three types of micro transmission lines. So coaxial cables that already discussed, and waveguides. We have rectangular waveguide and circular. Yes. Who is that? And one more is the microstrip lines. So microstrip line is just like a integrated circuit, just like ICs. So microstrip line. Now see here. So this is the microstrip schematic diagram. So there is a one thin layer on the top of the one substrate. So microstrip line. So there is a one thin layer, just like a integrated circuit. It is a MIC. So micro integrated circuit. So it's integrated circuit, just like we have a substrate is there here. So on the top of the substrate, we have the one thin layer is there with some width and height. So that is the microwave transmission line here. So microwave, so transmission line. So now see here. It consists of a conducting or rubber attached to a dielectric sheet with a conducting backing. The strip line can be easily integrated with an active and passive microwave devices. They are widely used in the microwave technology. So here, so this is the microwave strip line. So we can use it in the, so we can put easily in the any substrate, just like a microwave integrated circuit. So like our linear integrated circuit as a like our linear integrated circuits. So we have a micro integrated circuits also there. So there, so we have the small patch on the top of the some dielectric substrate. So with the conductor material to carry the microwave signals. So now this is the field distribution is like that. So there is a top one, this is the bottom, this is dielectric, top one maybe conductor is there. So now this is the electric field and magnetic field in the microstrip line. Now see this one. So this is the side view of our microstrip line. So on the top we have the conductor. It is our strip, micro strip, and we have the dielectric, and the top we have the conductor also there. So this is the dielectric material, and top of this is have the conductor. Bottom also have the conductor. So just like a microwave integrated circuit. Just like a microwave integrated circuit. Okay. So now see this is the NMICs. So monolithic microwave integrated circuit. So this we can use for the in form of ICs. So there you can connect the some antenna or to some other sources, or antennas to some other amplifier like that. So we are using in the microwave integrated circuit in the case of microstrip lines. Okay. And it's a very important thing. The field pattern in the microstrip line is referred to as a quasi-TEM pattern. It's not like a exactly TEM. It's just like a, it's very important. You have to remember this point. So the wave propagation allows, so quasi, it's not a complete TEM pattern. It's a quasi-TEM pattern. So quasi-TEM pattern. Okay. So now this is the case, and we have the different, see the our microstrip. So lines consist of conducting strip on the width. It's very simple. So there is a one dielectric, just like our already I think you saw some microstrip antennas in our antennas and wave propagation. So this same manner, this is the microwave integrated circuit. It's a microwave integrated circuit. So we have the three layers. So bottom layer is the ground, and that is the with the conductor, and then top on the ground we have the dielectric material. So on the top of the electric material we have the patch. So in the same manner, on the top of the dielectric material we have some strip is there. That strip is the microwave transmission line. So these are the using in the micro integrated circuit. Like our linear integrated circuit, we have the micro integrated circuits. So in that way, we are using in the micro integrated circuits. Okay. Now see, so this you can fabricate by printed circuit boards. So device can be bounded to strip. So components are accessible. It's easy to fabricate also. So DC as well as AC signals can be transmitted. So DC as well as AC signals can be transmitted. So large variation in Z0, that is and monolithic applications. So now we have the two different structures we see here. So microstrip cross section and embedded microstrip cross section. So these are two different types we have. Embedded micro, variants of the microstrip included embedded microstrip and coated microstrip. So this is the only top of the dielectric material. So this is like a normal one. And you have the embedded microstrip cross section also. So this is the see here. So this is the microstrip, and bottom and top of microstrip also we have the dielectric material. This is the embedded. So this is the embedded, and bottom of the microstrip line and bottom and top on both sides we have the dielectric material in this case of embedded microstrip cross section. So please remember this. Suppose they will ask, so explain about microstrip. Explain about microstrip line. So microstrip line. So it consists of three layers. Bottom layer is the ground, is the conductor. So on top of the bottom layer, we have the substrate, it's a dielectric material. On top of the substrate, we have the microstrip line. So microstrip line made up with the conductor only. So it is you can use in the micro integrated circuits. Micro integrated circuits, so that you have some width and length. So what is the electric field means? So the electric fields are confined between the ground. This is the field lines. So ground and this our microstrip line. These two are the conductors. So in between you have the dielectric. These are the field lines, electric field lines. These dotted are the magnetic field lines, electric field lines and magnetic field lines. Okay. So this is the radiation. Due to this, we have it will radiated. There is radiation losses in the case of this one. So we have to draw this diagram and explain. So this is the microstrip line. See, the bottom is the conductor. So this is the we have the dielectric material. On top of this, we have the microstrip line. Have some width and height. Having some width and height, right? So this is the field pattern, and this you can see the side view of the embedded microstrip line. So these are the silent features of microstrip line. You can easily fabricate it, printed circuit boards. Okay, and it will support the quasi-TEM mode. Quasi-TEM mode, you have to remember this point. And these are different variants of the microstrip line, the microstrip cross section and embedded microstrip cross section. You have to remember this one. So this remaining things not that important. This is not required at all. Okay. So these are the things from your unit number 1. So unit number 1. So what are the basic things? Applications of microengineering. What is meant by microengineering? So what is the applications of microengineering? So then transmission lines. So this entire story. So on the transmission lines. So transmission lines, we have 3 types of transmission lines. So first one is the coaxial cable. Already we explained about the coaxial cable. There's the 3 layers. We have the coaxial cable. We have 4 layers. We have in coaxial cable, inner conductor, outer conductor, so inner dielectric material and protection layer. So already we explained that. So then there is some losses there. So losses depends upon the material which you are using in the any type of transmission line. So there are the conductors and dielectric material using the dielectric losses and conductor losses. The conductor loss can call as a resistive loss. Okay. So then we go with the waveguides. So have the two using the 2 types in general. So circular waveguides and rectangular waveguides. So our complete story on this rectangular waveguide. The rectangular waveguide. So we saw the different modes, TE mode and TM mode. So we derived the field components in all the directions. Okay, that is the X direction, Y direction, and Z direction. So derive the field components, and also suppose you can take the TM mode. So derive expression in the field components in the x and y axis, and z axis we derive expression for the wave equation in the z direction. So TM mode in z direction we have the EZ component. There is no SZ component. In the same way for TE mode we have the SZ component that also we derive. So from that we saw the what is meant by the cutoff frequency. So in cutoff frequency, so what we have the alternation. Then we go for the what is meant by dominant mode. So TE10 mode is dominant mode in the rectangular waveguides. Then what is meant by degenerative modes? Also what is meant by Evans-Kent mode, and that also we saw. And we saw what is the different alternation. Alternation in the rectangular waveguide, alternation in the TE mode, alternation in the TM mode, that also we saw. So then we have the different things. We have the what is meant by a guided wavelength in rectangular waveguide, and phase velocity, group velocity, that also we saw, and there are the expressions also for that. Okay, so then, so after that we have the power losses, attenuation, attenuation we saw, and also impedance also we saw. So impedance, intrinsic impedance, that is in the for TE mode and TM mode. So attenuation we can say based on the cutoff frequency. So we have saw the attenuation in the rectangular waveguides, the reflect attenuation and on the dissipate attenuation, that also we saw. So same thing we can write for your, suppose what is the power losses in the rectangular waveguide, that same you can use for the that also same answer for. So power losses in the rectangular waveguide. So then another two important things, what is meant by, so resonant cavities in the rectangular waveguide. Resonant cavity, the resonant cavity is the length, width and height is confined. So for the resonant cavity, it is the metallic structure to store the electric and magnetic energy. So for that, we need to derive the expression for the resonant frequency. Resonance frequency, FR is equal to C by 2 root M by pi A whole square plus N pi by B whole square plus so P pi by D whole square. That also we saw. That is very important. And the same next, what is meant by our this one micro strip line, and what is the micro strip line? What is the construction of the micro strip line? So what is the power radiation in the micro strip line? That also we saw. So how, what is the impossibility of the TEM mode? That also 1 mark, 2 marks question. So these are the things in our first unit. Okay. So then we're going to start second unit today. So I think any doubt up to this point, you have any doubt, you please ask me. So you need to request to submit your assignment so before due date. Otherwise, so I will not accept the responses. Okay. Have any doubt? Anyone please respond. No doubt. Yes.